In the middle of the night, when the world was silent and still, she would find herself standing on a narrow street. The street was quiet, empty, dark, but there was always one strange thing: rain. Not rain falling everywhere, just one spot. It fell like a curtain from the sky, soaking only one man. He always had his back turned, he wore a black coat, and his head was slightly bent, like he was tired. Rain poured over him, but not a single drop touched the ground around him. It was as if the rain followed only him, chased him. She watched him every time. He would walk slowly, step by step, deeper into the night, and then, just when she thought he would disappear again, he stopped. This time, something changed. He began to turn. Her heart raced. She had never seen his face before. She waited just one more second. Then, boom! Thunder roared, loud enough to shake her soul. A bright white light flashed, and everything disappeared. She woke up gasping. Her eyes flew open, and her heart beat fast, like someone had chased her in real life. But that was not the worst part. She was wet. Her hair, her clothes, her bedsheets, everything was soaked. Water dripped from her fingers as she sat up. She touched her pillow, wet. She touched the floor. A puddle was forming beside her bed. She looked up at the ceiling. No holes, no leaks. The window was shut tight. Her voice came out in a whisper, shaky and small. Not again. This had happened before, too many times. She grabbed the old notebook beside her bed and flipped through the pages. The paper was soft from being touched too much. There, on one of the pages, was the same man. She had drawn him over and over. Tall, alone, his face hidden, rain above his head. Always him. She picked a pen and wrote. He turned this time. Almost saw his face. Her phone buzzed. A message popped up. Don't forget your interview today, oh. No excuses. It was from her best friend, Kemi. She sighed. How do I explain this one? She muttered. She looked around her small room. The light from outside was bright. Morning had come. The sky was clear. Not a single sign of rain. She shook her head and stood up to dry herself. But as she moved toward the bathroom, her old radio, one that hadn't worked in months, suddenly came to life. A voice came through the crackle. And for today, Port Harcourt will remain dry and sunny. No sign of rain across the region. She froze. No sign of rain. Then, where did all this water come from? Her hand trembled slightly. She looked down at her soaked night dress. Whatever was happening, it wasn't just a dream anymore. She cleaned up as quickly as she could, but her mind was far from calm. The dream, the water, the way it almost turned, it haunted her. She wrapped her wet bed sheets, placed them by the door to dry later, and dressed for her interview. Jeans and a clean blouse. It was just a casual admin job at a real estate office. But in a city like Port Harcourt, any job was better than none. As she walked through the busy streets, people pushed past her, honking cars, shouting bus drivers, the smell of fried akara in the air. It was just another noisy morning. But inside her, there was silence, a heavy silence. She reached the junction and waited for a bus. That was when she saw it, a brand new billboard right across the road. Her heart skipped. She blinked once, then twice, thinking her eyes were lying to her. It was him, the man from her dreams, the same height, the same face, the same eyes that seemed to hide a storm behind them. His name was written in bold letters. Dr. Tunde Arinze, environmental consultant, saving our future. She stepped back in shock. No, this is not real. She turned away, but the face pulled her eyes back like a magnet. Under his name was something else. Land reclaim project, oil development begins next month. She stood there, frozen, as people rushed past her. It wasn't just a dream. The man was real, and he was about to sign something, something big. Something dangerous. She couldn't explain how she knew, but deep down, she felt it in her bones. If he signed that deal, something terrible would happen. The dream wasn't just a warning, it was a cry for help. She stared at the billboard one last time. Then, without knowing exactly what she was doing, she changed direction. The job interview didn't matter anymore. She needed to find him. She needed to speak to him, even if he wouldn't believe her, even if he thought she was mad. Because if she didn't try, she might be the only one left who knew what was coming. She didn't know where to start, but she had one clue. His name, Dr. Tunde Arinze. She rushed to a cyber cafe nearby. It was small, hot and noisy, but she didn't care. She paid for 30 minutes and began searching. After a few clicks, she found it, an event flyer. Port Harcourt Green Energy Summit. Guest speaker, Dr. Tunde Arinze. The event was happening that same afternoon at a hotel not far from the government house. She stared at the screen, heart racing. She didn't have a ticket. She didn't know anyone inside, but she had to try. This wasn't just about her dreams anymore. Something deep inside told her if she didn't warn him, something bad would happen, not just to him, but to many people. She left the cafe and headed straight to the venue. It was a tall hotel, clean and fancy. People in suits moved in and out, holding files and talking into phones. A small crowd was gathering near the entrance. She stood across the road, watching. Then she noticed something, a woman wearing a media tag. She was distracted, talking on her phone. When she walked away, she left her press badge on the bench beside her. The girl didn't think twice. She crossed the road quickly, grabbed the badge, and walked straight toward the entrance. Her heart pounded, but she didn't stop. She held the badge to her chest and avoided eye contact. The security man glanced at her tag, then waved her in. She was in. The hall was wide and cold. There were banners everywhere with big words like sustainable future and oil and the environment. And then she saw him, Dr. Tunde. He was standing near the stage, talking to another man in a grey suit. He looked calm, confident, powerful. She didn't wait. She walked up to him, heart thumping. Sir, she said, almost in a whisper. He looked at her, eyebrows raised. Yes, she swallowed hard. Please don't sign the deal. Something is going to go wrong. I have seen it many times. I know it doesn't make sense, but... Wait, he interrupted, now frowning. Who are you? I don't know how to explain it, she said, voice shaking. You are in my dreams, always in the rain, always walking away. And yesterday, you turned. Something terrible is coming. Please, just don't sign. He stared at her for a few seconds. Then, he gave a short, dry laugh. You're joking, right? I'm not, she said. I know I sound crazy, but please, just check the details of the deal again. Look deeper. Don't trust everything they have told you. He sighed and stepped back. Miss, I don't know who you are or what game you're playing, but I don't have time for this. He turned away. She stood there, crushed. People were watching. She felt their eyes, their judgment. She whispered, more to herself than to him. If only she would listen. And with that, she turned and walked away. As she reached the door, a new kind of fear began to rise inside her. The dreams had never waited this long to return. Days passed. She didn't hear from him. She didn't dream either. And somehow, that silence was more frightening than all the rain in the world. She checked the news every morning, searched his name online, even walked past the billboard again. Nothing. Then, on the fifth night, the dream returned. But this time, it was different. She wasn't watching the man from behind anymore. She was standing beside him. They were both under the rain now, soaked, yet she couldn't move. He looked at her, face clear, eyes full of something she didn't understand. He opened his mouth to speak, but the ground beneath them cracked loudly, like thunder tearing the earth open. Buildings in the distance collapsed into smoke. Fires rose from the ground. People screamed, and the rain turned red. She jolted awake. Her pillow was soaked again, not with water, with sweat. She didn't wait for the sun to rise. She rushed out to find a way back to the hotel. By 9 a.m., she was standing outside, staring at the newspaper's headline, hung on wooden boards, and there it was. Oil spill disaster in Oguma community. Explosion rocks new pipeline. Dr. Tunde Arinze confirms project was rushed. Says he will cooperate with investigators. She froze. Nightmare had started just as she saw it. People were being evacuated, families displaced, water poisoned, and the man she had warned. He was finally listening, but it was too late, or maybe not completely too late. She made her way to a radio station near town, walked in, and begged to speak on their early morning talk show. I have something to say, she told the lady at the desk. Something people need to hear. The receptionist looked at her, unsure, but then the host walked out of the studio. He glanced at her tired face, and something in her eyes made him pause. You have 5 minutes, he said. She sat behind the mic, heart pounding, and she began to speak. I warned him, not because I am a scientist, not because I have power, but because I dream. And sometimes the things I see in my sleep come true. The phone lines lit up almost instantly. Calls poured in. Some people laughed, some cried, some begged her to tell them what to do next. And in the crowd of voices, one came through. It was his voice. I'm sorry, he said over the ear. I didn't listen, but I believe you now. That same evening, a black SUV stopped outside her compound. She watched from behind a curtain. A man stepped out, tall, dark-skinned, serious face. He nodded gently. Miss, Dr. Tunde sent me. He wants to see you. Please, he believes you now. She hesitated, but her feet moved on their own. Inside the car, the driver said nothing, but she noticed a tiny red light blinking under the dashboard. They were recording her. She didn't say a word the whole ride. At the hotel, she found Dr. Tunde in a dimly lit room, alone, no cameras, no press. He looked tired, broken. I should have listened. He said, you were right. I need your help now. The explosion wasn't an accident. She stepped closer, confused. What do you mean? He pulled out a file and showed her documents, sealed approvals, fake signatures, threats sent to his email. They pushed me to rush the project. A private company, dirty money. Now I've been warned. If I speak out freely, they will silence me. Her eyes widened. They are planning another drill, he whispered, deeper into the wetlands. It will poison everything. But I don't have evidence strong enough to stop them. She shook her head. Why me? Because you see things before they happen. You can help me get ahead of them. She wanted to walk away. This wasn't a battle. But that night, another dream came. This time, she saw herself in handcuffs, reporters shouting, Dr. Tunde standing far away, watching her being taken. And just before she woke, a voice whispered, they will blame you for everything. The next day, her face was everywhere. The girl who warned too late, was she involved? New leak suggests psychic girl was used to distract public from oil scandal. They turned the story against her. She called Dr. Tunde, no answer. She messaged him, blue ticks, no reply. And then the police came. You are under arrest for obstruction and spreading false panic, the officer said. As they dragged her out, cameras flashed. She screamed. They are hiding something. He promised to tell the truth. Ask Dr. Tunde. But no one listened. Behind bars, her mind spun. She wasn't just a warning anymore. She had become the scapegoat. Then, 2 nights later, something happened. The power in the station flickered. One of the officers rushed in, holding a phone. Sir, you need to see this, he said. On the screen was a video. Dr. Tunde looking straight into the camera. This is my confession, he began. He named names. He exposed documents. He cleared her name. I didn't listen when I should have, and because of that, lives were lost. But this young woman told the truth, and now, so will I. It shook the whole country. The next morning, she was released. The same reporters who mocked her now pushed mics in her face. Did you know you would confess? Are your dreams still coming? She didn't answer. She just looked into the camera and said softly, this time, someone listened. Maybe next time, they will listen sooner. And with that, she walked away.